Welcome back to our banker briefing series. We are back with our General Counsel at the IBA, Carolyn Settanni. I'm Ben Jackson with the GR team. We're going to go a little more in depth from our last video on the Illinois Community Reinvestment Act, the Illinois CRA. We recently had a hearing on that on March 2nd. That was a banking specific hearing. In the last video, we talked a little bit about the parity between the rules, making sure that banking rules have the same kind of coverage as the other rulemaking, that credit unions and mortgage lenders are not receiving a lighter hand from regulators than banks are, especially since banks are already covered under the federal CRA, and credit unions and mortgage lenders are not. We received some terrific feedback, which Carolyn will talk about, from our members across the state, banks of all sizes, on the Illinois CRA proposed rulemaking, and just great feedback that really informed Carolyn's comments before the hearing with the IDFPR on March 2nd. We're going to go a little more into depth on that because the comment letter, we're preparing it now, Carolyn's team is, and it is due on March 16th. So Carolyn, you want to talk about a little bit your work, especially with the Compliance Committee and the Government Relations Committee, on collecting that information?
We had great feedback from our members on both committees, and we held meetings and phone calls. We took emails from committee members, and we didn't walk line by line through the rules, but we went very carefully and went through some language very closely to make sure that these rules make sense. Of course, a major theme was the costs of the examinations under the rules, which as we mentioned, are $2,200 per day as proposed, $11,000 per week. And with built-in 5% increases every year, that's going to double in 14 years to $22,000 per week of CRA examinations. And we heard from our members, some of them may have very short CRA exams. Some have exams that can range from 30 weeks to 50 weeks. And as Ben mentioned, we talked to banks of all sizes and types about these rules. We also talked about implementation period and the need for time to implement these changes. We talked about the coverage of the rule, which we mentioned earlier or on our last video, but the rule covers banks and bank affiliates. And for that, that's going to create some issues for some of our members. Some members have affiliates that are already going to be covered under the rules for mortgage lenders. So are they going to have two different Illinois CRA exams on top of their federal CRA exams? That is a major problem under the rule. And we have, of course, many other kinds of affiliates at our member banks. We also talked about certain definitional issues. Are we going to define unbanked in a way that makes sense? A lot of our members do provide really great products that serve low and moderate income communities and are really directed at unbanked and underbanked customers. So we have to make sure we get those definitions right to make sure we're getting credit for those wonderful activities we're doing to support our communities.
Absolutely. And, it's very important to get these rules right. We also, have a little ways to go on that. No doubt there'll be a second draft of these rules, we think, and then they would have to be approved through a legislative body, a bipartisan body called JCAR. So there is additional opportunities for working on these and making sure that they're as easy as they can be for banks to comply with.
And I'd say if you still have comments, you can send them to us on March 15th, and we will get them into our comment letter. So please definitely contact us at illinois.bank. You'll find contact information for all of us.
Well, the industry has been well represented by Carolyn and her team through this process, supporting with support from our GR team, of course. We appreciate all the things that members have done to get us comments and pour through these rules, as Carolyn said. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you very much, Carolyn.
Thank you.